His birth name was John of Tusculum and his secular one was Theophylactus. It is believed that he was born on 975, but the exact date is unknown. He died on April 9 of 1024 and he was the 143 Pope of the Catholic Church from 1012 to 1024. But what is interesting of his story is that his charge as pontifex had several schemes and triumphs that we will narrate now. Crescentius III died on 1012, so his political rivals Gregory and Mary Counts of Tusculum took profit of this to make Theophylactus one of their children, Pope in his place. However, Crescentius III's family didn't agree to this, so he was kicked from Rome and elevated the anti-pope Gregory VI. Nevertheless, in 1014, King Henry II of Saxony, favorable to the ecclesiastic reforms, restored his title of Pope. Due to this, Benedict VIII crowned him Holy Roman Emperor as a return and as a sign of a lasting friendship. It is important to note that it was this pope who imposed celibacy to the clergy. In an episcopalian meeting called the Synod of Pavia, he declared the prohibition of the concubinage and matrimony on December 28 of 1022, as well as the banning of the participation of clergymen in duels. It was also decreed that the sons of the clergymen had to continue with the priesthood to avoid their fighting for the obtaining of the goods of their fathers, which would become ecclesiastical property. He is also remembered for his braveness when he fought the Saracens in Tuscany and the Greeks in Apulia. Thanks to this, his leadership of the Catholic world as a politician and ministry was made clear. During the Truce of God, an ecclesiastical initiative derived from the Peace of God. Both movements sought to regulate the violence of the feudal and castle lords towards the most vulnerable sectors of society, like the peasants, the serfs, the poor, the lower clergy, and merchants. Benedict VIII was a highly conciliatory element. The punishments towards the violent ones were of a spiritual order, excommunication or interdiction. The Truce of God widened those measures by imposing a ban of violence on specific moments like Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, for they were important religious days, and during holy fests like specific saints' days, Lent, or Advent. In that context, the Truce of God favored the growing of the pontifical authority in the 11th century, which later permitted an internal peace in Christianity with the intention of the projection of the Crusades. When forbidding the murdering of Christians, the papacy encouraged the nobility to project that violence towards a pagan enemy, Islam. Benedict VIII also persecutes simony, a type of bribe by which material and temporal favors were sought in exchange of spiritual objects. He was a fierce defender of liturgy. Despite all of these contributions to Christianity, several of his decisions led to the triggering of the East-West and Western schisms, this turning him into a controversial figure in the Church. For example, regarding the Nicene Constantinopolitan Creed, that dogmatic declaration that explains the contents and the creed of the Christian faith, Benedict VIII inserts the filioque for the first time. This clause says that the Holy Ghost not only comes from the Father but also from the Son. This outraged the Church of Constantinople, which separated itself from the Roman one. Although the schism did not formally happen until 1054, Benedict VIII was a key factor for it to happen 40 years after the introduction of the filioque in Henry II's coronation. On the other hand, Benedict VIII had a strong presence and influence at the front of the Italian troops in the armed conflicts which were held on 1016 against the Saracens to defend Italy's center Tuscany. This triumphant battle led to Benedict VIII and the Italian army to the south of the peninsula, where they found the army of Basil II, Byzantine emperor. Benedict demanded military aid to Henry II. Norman troops also came to aid, and Apulia was conquered and Basil II defeated. This strategic and close bond with the Holy Roman Emperor was central during the pontificate of Benedict VIII, up to the point that in 1020 the Bamberg Cathedral in Germany was consecrated. From that temple, the expulsion of the Byzantines from Italy was planned, just as the Synod of Pavia in 1022. This controversial pope was respected and venerated, and he was even considered blessed in some old calendars of the Holy Roman Empire, although the beatification was never officially made. The Catholic Church has in this figure a rich contributor to his institutional and political machinery. He died on April 9 of 1024 and was succeeded by his brother Romanus, whom when elected pope took the name of John XIX. Don't close the video yet. Before leaving, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. This will help us to grow and to continue doing much more of this content.